Makardabi, bro. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna just read from the note section again. A judging mind is a mind that plays God, wicked to the core. And it is through this acknowledgement that one can be free from wickedness. All right, hear me out. I know, starting off like this, wicked to the core, my mind, it's really your heart that's wicked. That might be even more uncomfortable, but hear me out. It is the devil who plays God. Oh, actually, I'll speak on a judging mind is a mind that plays God. One who casts judgments on others and judges in general, who tilts the scale in one way or another, is playing God. Only God can do that. And God doesn't even judge. Only on Judgment Day. And that's one day, if it even is to be a day. It is only one day. God is indifferent. I will continue. It is the devil who plays God. Your imagination is of darkness. Lucifer, the closest one to God, with the free will. I have all this power. I have all this knowledge. I'm going to try to be God. And we all know how that ended up. Prince of Darkness. Prince of Light, actually, Lucifer. But I digress. Your imagination is of darkness. Okay? Any judgment at all, even judgments about yourself, especially judgments about yourself, because you really only have those anyway. Your external experience is merely a mirror, another pointing to look inwards. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Buddha. These are the words of the Buddha. Okay? It doesn't even matter what your religion is. You don't even have to be Buddhist to see the wisdom in the words of the Buddha or Buddha. There is multiple Buddhas, actually. Buddha's a title of enlightenment. But your external experience is a canvas painted by your internal experience. That's going back to what was said previously. Even judgment of a single thought. All right, now we're going back to judgment. Touching back on judgment. Say you had a thought you didn't want. That didn't want is a judgment. Even little minuscule things like this must be seen. That is a mind that plays God. A judging mind is a mind that plays God. Wicked to the core. Even little things like that are still judgments and therefore are of an imagination that is playing God. It might seem like a grand claim to make that your mind is wicked to the core because it makes judgments. Because then you might say that judgments are inherent to the human mind. Because without judgments, without being able to judge and assess our environment and a certain person, we wouldn't have evolved up until this point. Or so one might say. There is validity to that, but also, actually, hold up. I'll touch back upon that. Let me continue real quick. Yet even God does not judge. That's why we have free will, or one of the reasons, one of the potential reasons. He loves his children and he is indifferent if they stray. Yet he will still send his grace. As grace is all pervading. God's grace is all pervading. One of the ways to be in God's grace is gratitude. It is the grateful who drinks the wine of God. Our eyes, our minds, and our understandings see water, right? But God says there's wine. This is to the biblical story of God or Jesus turning water into wine. Trust the Lord. No, it is always wine. I know it's a little all over the place. We're talking about judgment, then it went to Buddha, and now we're talking about gratitude and the grace of God. But bear with me here. All right, it's a little jumbled, but these are just notes put together. All right. It'll all get tied up like a bow. Trust. Being God's grace, it is the grateful who drinks of the wine of God. Gratitude is the wine of the soul, by the way. Drink up. And you can only drink the ever-present wine when you are grateful, when you're back in God's grace, via the door, via the vehicle of gratitude. The ungrateful mind suffers, because the ungrateful mind is in constant judgment. A grateful mind is just, thank you. A grateful mind has let go. You cannot be resisting and be grateful at the same time. Resistance is judgment. Resistance is suffering. Okay. And that's essentially why the first resistance, the first sin was of Lucifer, who resisted his place in heaven, being one of the angels. Whether you believe the story or not, I'm still I'm not too sure, but I see it as a story that has ancient wisdom inherent in it. Even if it isn't true, even if it didn't happen, there's still ancient wisdom inherent in it. The original sin was resistance. Now, by believing your mind and resisting your experience, whose side are you on? When there's another response available of gratitude, no matter what's happening in your life, there's wine. Your eyes and your understanding see water, but God says there's wine. Watch, this next line speaks on that. Hold up. It's always wine. Trust the Lord with all of your heart in all that you do. Do not lean on your own understanding, for it is of darkness. Now, that is not a direct quote, but yes, for it is of darkness. Your own understanding, your imagination is of darkness. It's of the devil. It's wicked to the core. And it's not you. It's essentially a force that has made a home in you. Let me continue. For God says, as my voice is a voiceless voice, like intuition, it is the devil who needs your constant attention and interest and identification, for without it, he will perish. All minds are judging minds. I'm going to blanket statement every mind, but in reality, it's probably most minds. Most all minds. It's probably 99.999, unless you got a Buddha mind. But for the most part, I'm sticking to the script. All minds are judging minds, even the little judgments. All minds are playing God. Even the judgment of, I don't know about that. That doesn't make me feel good, though. These are all movements of a mind playing God. You have to see and feel in the core of your being that when you judge, you are playing God. When you cast judgments, period. Doesn't matter if it's you throwing a rock at a person or you throwing a rock at just a situation or at yourself, which is all you can really do. When you cast judgments upon yourself, when you cast judgments, you are playing God. Only God can judge. Who are you? If, say, we're in the grand jury court, Supreme Court of life, who would be that judge? Would it be you? Would you be the one up there casting the final judgment? If there were to be a heaven and hell and it were to be, the setting were to be a court or whatever so have you, who would be there? Who would be the grand jury judge or grand judge? Let's continue. These are all movements of a mind playing God. Wicked to the core. Wicked. The heart, the mind is wicked. Thank you for wickedness. Thank you for the wine. My understanding sees tension discomfort, and thoughts I want to resist automatically. But God makes wine. But God says there's wine. Only the grateful can drink up. If you lean on your own understanding, inherently you will be ungrateful for the most part. So therefore, you don't drink. Only the grateful drink. The ungrateful, you see water. Imagine the miracle didn't happen. Imagine the Bible ended there. That's you. That's an ungrateful mind. That's an ungrateful mind and an ungrateful heart. That is a mind and a heart that plays God. Think about if gratitude is being in God's presence. The adverse, diametric opposition would be ungrateful. You think you got it. You think you know more than the best chef alive, the one that's constantly cooking. That is a mind that plays God. You think if you're not constantly thinking that life isn't going to happen, or at least it won't happen the way that you want. Your plan means nothing. Your desires mean nothing. Seek the kingdom of God and all will be put upon you. Let's continue. Thank you for the wine. Thank you for the wine. This is 24-hour service, 24/7, no last call. You can be here all day, every day, drinking wine. Or you can be lured in by the temptations of the imagination, because that's exactly what it is. It's a battle. It's the imagination battling for your attention. For your attention, your interests, and as a byproduct of both of those, your identification. You give the imagination the greatest energy of all. You believe it's you. You identify with it. We're going to touch upon that. Hold up. Every time you come back to gratitude, you are strengthening your faith. Understand that. You're leaning on your understanding. Something happened. Somebody stole your phone. You don't even know. You can't even see a reason to be grateful. But you're not leaning on your own understanding. You're trusting in the Lord with all your heart in everything you do, which is easier said than done. But even if you don't feel grateful, you still come back to saying thank you. You still come back to gratitude. Lord, thank you for this wine. Lord, thank you for this wine. Even though I can't see it, it's not meant for me to see. That's why we were never meant to eat from the tree of knowledge. God understands the darkness of the intellect. That's why he said, don't eat from that tree. Once again, whether you believe the stories or not, I think it's kind of irrelevant because there's wisdom inherent to it. It's like somebody telling you a story that didn't happen, but there's so many parallels to real life. You're just like, that story didn't happen, so none of those things actually apply to me or can be applied to my life. I think that's foolishness, but we'll continue. Any and every judgment is wicked, is of wickedness, is of the darkness of the imagination. Even good judgments, because they lift you up just to bring you down. If you've ever meditated and you've ever been, let's just say, in a peaceful state, what is that force that acts to drag you back into the mind? Like, you're in the Garden of Eden, and then the devil says, I think you've had enough time there. Can you give me your identification and interest again? If any of you guys have ever been in a meditation and say you've been at peace, and then there's like this force that comes back, it doesn't even have to be like simple thoughts like, what am I going to eat? A lot of the times it comes back with darkness. It comes back with the lesser preferred aspects of yourself, to put it mildly. That is the devil, my guy, or my sister. Let's continue. Darkness of the imagination is of the devil. Uncomfortable to be open-minded to this, I understand. It was uncomfortable for me as well. To me. Those who understand. We're gonna touch upon that anyway. Excuse me. But a judging mind is a mind playing God, and you might say, nah, I can definitely make these little judgments. That's another judgment. And then you might say, am I just not meant to have an opinion? You know it's playing God because your judgments seem to be absolute. Not your mind isn't just not in the way that your perspective on things can't change. Okay, wait. You know it's playing God because your judgments seem to be absolute. Not in the way that your perspective on things can't change, like absolute that way, like this is absolute truth. I'll never change on this, potentially, because it could also be that. But in the way that you have the thought and boom, it's true. That's why you have the accompanying sensation. You have the judgment and it's true. That's why I feel this way automatically. That's why I feel this fear. That's why I feel this anxiety. That's why I feel this tension. That's why I feel this discomfort. Because this judgment is, yeah. And it's got to be true if I feel this, right? It's true that you're feeling this feeling, but the feeling isn't truth. Truth cannot be bound to a changeful state. The sky doesn't move. The judgment is brought up as a suggestion. No, the judgment isn't brought up as a suggestion, but fact. That's how you know it's playing God, because it's not just like, this could be a suggestion, this could be happening. It's brought up as a fact, and you believe it as a fact, and the feeling in you feels as if it's fact. And playing God isn't our role. Actually, we're gonna, boom, this is gonna be a new paragraph. Playing God isn't our role. We are extremely suboptimal at this. Look at our lives. Look at where our judgments about ourselves have gotten us. More resistance, more attention, because it's not our role to fulfill. Give up on the wickedness of the heart and the mind. Acknowledge it first, and then you gotta really, you watch it. You know, really, that's the purification process. You watch, and within the stillness, the light cleanses. But the darkness is gonna fight, and that's what you're gonna feel. You're gonna feel like, ah, but the light is still. It is the darkness, it is the devil who cannot remain still, and that is what you are seeing. Let's continue. Give up on the wickedness of your heart and mind. Confidence, well, let's break the word down to its Latin roots. Con is with, and fidens is fidelity, which is trust. I know it might seem like a little jumbled. This part is a little jumbled, but bear with me. How much we got? 18 minutes? Yes. With and fidelity is trust. Move with confidence, meaning move with trust. Trust in, it's not about me. Confidence isn't about, oh, I'm high and mighty, I'm trust. I guess you could have confidence in your own preparation. But the most confidence you'll ever have is when you're moving with trust in God. When you're moving and trust that things are going to align the way that they are meant to, because it is part of a more divine plan. It is out of my control. It is out of my planning. A plan that I could have never conjured up myself. Trust. God got you. Oh, no. Move with trust that God got you, and He doesn't judge anyway. If He were to judge, it would be on the judgment day. Saves the judgment every single day. Oh, no. God saves His judgment for one day, if there were to be judgment day. Yet you judge every single day. And high key, you judge every minute of every day, because most to all thoughts are judgments when you see them for what they are. So yeah, wicked. You think you can You think you can do it better than the one and only. That's why you think all the time. You think you can do it better than the one and only. No wonder you resist your experience and suffer. If it's from your mind, it's not your opinion anyway. It's not your opinion anyway. That is of the imagination, a force that acts on its own. You can observe your thoughts, observe your mind. To say, you can close your eyes and intend for the next minute or 30 seconds, I will essentially not log into any of my thoughts. This is practical to drive the point home that you can observe your mind. And then I'll say the significance of that. So you could close your eyes and intend for the next 30 seconds to a minute that I'm not going to essentially log into any of my thoughts. I'm just going to watch them come and go. I will watch them come and leave without any judgment onto them. I will observe with detachment. And the fact that you're 100% capable of doing this says that your thoughts are an object of your perception. Ready? In relation to the subject. All right? In relation to the subject. Meaning you see every thought object, so they cannot also be the subject, which is I. I is the one experiencing the object. The subject experiences object, right? All that to say, if it's a thought, it's not your opinion anyway. It's just another movement. It's merely another mental movement. What is not moving though? What sees and is aware that the thought has left, that it arose and it left. If it were you, if the thought were you, you'd leave with it. You'd be gone. Bye. The cloud passes and you'd be the cloud. Wow. The sky doesn't move though. Crazy. Alas, another cloud has passed. Bars. In the immovable sky. You've never seen the sky move. I'll guarantee you that. But you've seen a countless number of clouds move. Whether they are real clouds or not doesn't matter. Manufactured clouds, they move. All right. And even if you've seen a cloud remain in the sky for like 5 minutes, that was 5 minutes, and then it was gone. And the sky will remain. So in essence, the sky observes the clouds move. The sky observes the clouds move. The sky being the subject, I, the immovable, the one that remains through all of your experiences of life and has been there throughout all of your experiences of life. And the clouds being the objects, the changing nature. Eternal life with God or changeful experience with the devil. That's up for you to decide. Chong, 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 chong. Back to your wicked-hearted mind. Practical time. Close your eyes and see that you're in constant judgment to your experience of life. You judge the emotions, sensations. You want them to be different automatically. It's so subtle and subconscious that if you don't intend to put awareness on it, the fact that you judge all the time, you'll go on judging and you won't allow yourself to be. Or you won't allow your experience to unfold as it does. Allow your experience to unfold as it does. And essentially that literally just is closing your eyes and you could just mentally say allow. Or that is also an amazing practical, what would you say, practice, amazing practice. But this one is, as opposed to allow, you say playing God, because you're seeing how you're judging every little movement in your body, every thought you have, you automatically judge it when it comes up. For the most part, the root is the tension in the body. You judge the tension. I don't want this tension. I want to experience something else. I want to go watch YouTube. I want to be happy. You're playing God. You're playing God in those judgments. Only God can judge. See this. See this. And you'll be free of your wickedness. Keep at it though. It is only through the acknowledgement of the wickedness that the wickedness can leave. Awareness is 90% of transformation. See this. Yeah. See how you automatically judge yourself and label that as playing God. And high key, just keep saying that internally. And the playing God is like a filter, because none of the judgments matter. None of the mental movements matter, because they are wicked. They are of darkness. So essentially, you're bringing your attention back into your body, as opposed to giving all of your interest and identification to the constantly changeful, dark intellect. All right? We're here in the body. We're here with the tensions. We're here with the discomforts. Right? We're here with the wickedness of the heart. We're here to feel everything, because it is through the feeling of everything. If you can't sit in your own discomfort, you'll be uncomfortable for the rest of your life. Excuse me. And with that, this is my longest video so far. We'll leave it at that. Makardabi, bro. I hope you guys have amazing, blessed days. You wicked heart. You wicked mind. Be free. Acknowledge your wickedness. Even that served you at one point, but no longer going forward. Salute.